Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So in today's video, it is going to be my new and my updated Lepic guide for bossing. So as you can see, I have been streaming a lot on my channel, and there's one question I commonly get asked. What is your Lepic build? Please explain, show me your build. The damage you do is insane. And to that, I'm gonna give you the straight answer right here in this video. So before we get on into this real quick though, my creator code is going to be on screen right now, so please do use that creator code. It is the best way to support me. If we can get enough people using the creator code, I am going to be able to do a giveaway of Ultimate Descendant bundles in the future. So you know, dropping a like, subscribing and using that code would be greatly appreciated. Other than that, my Discord server is going to be linked in the description. Now with all of that out of the way, let's get right on into this build. So starting off with the Lepic, let's go on over the modules on him. So this is going to be a heavy investment Lepic that is going to give you the best return for what you put back into him. Firearm Master is optional. You can run this config, you can run this loadout without Firearm Master if you do not have it. Once you are able to take care of the Obstructor yourself, then please do farm it out, upgrade it and throw it onto this config. Alternatively, you can farm the Devourer for the red Transcendent mods that it can drop, and then just use the fusion option and hope to God that you are going to get it that way. So let's go on over the modules in this config. Number one being Firearm Master. This is going to increase the range of the nuking ability and also the damage that this nuking ability can output. Next up is Dangerous Ambush. Now this is going to be primarily for that second skill, damage against an enemy when they are immobilized. When you knock a Colossi down, you're going to be able to do even more damage because of this module, so it is very important. Next up, it is going to be Skill Concentration, again purely for the skill crit damage. This is going to be a very high crit damage and crit rate sort of build. MP with Enlightenment, so you know MP is important. We've got to maintain and have a high amount of MP in order to keep pushing out as many fireballs as we can. Again, Fire Specialist, more firepower. We need that power, and we are going to obviously be using fire because Lepic is a fire type Pokemon. Skill Duration with Skill Extension is going to be again important to keeping the fireballs active for a while. Next up, Maximize Duration. Now this is where it gets a little bit different from my other config. Now you can replace Maximize Duration with MP Accelerant. This will give you less duration but a little bit more MP. At this stage in my config, I do not need any more MP, so Skill Duration is the priority here. Emergency Measures for extra crit chance and crit damage. Again, critical hit rate, so more crit chance with Skill Insight. Again, more crit damage and more critical hit rate with front lines, and again, more skill power modifier with maximized power, and skill cooldown is also going to be increased. So you know, this is going to hit hard, but you're going to need a minute to get back up. Now for bosses and Colossi, I do recommend long distance maneuvering. Personally my favorite out of all the maneuverings, but I just feel like maxing this one out specifically is the most important. You do need to have access and be able to traverse as much of the arena as possible when you are fighting any of these Colossi. It can mean the difference between life or death. So if we have a look on over at the fourth ability on Lepic, the ability we are going to be prioritizing, you can see if you look at the basic information that it has a 120-second cooldown. It has a 2 whole minutes cooldown. The MP cost is also 46, which is not a major difference, and the continuous MP cost is also a little bit higher. On the trade-off though, the burst damage is increased significantly from 2760 to 2835%. The continuous damage has doubled from 43 all the way up to 118. The duration is 14.1 seconds, and the continuous damage duration is 7.1 seconds. Now this may not sound significant on paper, but in terms of gameplay this can absolutely make a difference. Now let's talk about the reactor. The reactor is always going to be the most important part of this config. So on my reactor I have it for the devotion weapon. On the top of the reactor, the weapon is completely optional. Now I've gone with devotion because it's a pistol, it's lightweight, and you know, it is still good enough for me. The main boost being the middle stats. The fire skill and tech skill are going to be the most important. Like I said, Lepic is a fire type Pokemon and tech skill is for his 4th ability, so we do need that buff. Again, at the bottom stats, you can see that I do have fire power boost ratio. So again, boosting my fire damage even further. Now, on these stats on the bottom, they can be interchanged. Fire skill, tech skill, skill hit rate, skill hit crit damage, and damage to the Colossus. The one you want on the bottom skill on here universally is damage to the Colossus, preferably in gold. Now I have a fire skill in gold and a damage to the Colossi in purple, which is still more than usable, and it's more than capable of absolutely dishing out the damage to the bosses that you need. The most important part of the weapon and the loadout is, like I said, the weapon at the top. So in this instance, it's the devotion. Number one, you need to obviously have the weapon. Getting the sort of stats that would affect the weapon would be weak point damage, fire attack, critical hit rate, critical hit damage, and damage to Colossi. Do I have that on my devotion? No, I don't. I'll be completely honest with you. Is it still more than capable enough of absolutely deleting? Absolutely, yes it is. Now this is going to be one of the most important parts of the entire config. It's going to be the modules you put on your weapon, specifically sharp precision shot and fire rate up. So with sharp precision shot, all you have to do is press and hold the fire rate button, and then once you press and hold the fire button, you are going to be shooting, and this is going to increase the stacks on here, and this is going to make your Lepic shoot significantly faster, and boosting that even further with fire rate up is going to be all you actually need on this config. You can have a little bit of extra accuracy if you want, but it really does not make a difference. As for the components, this is going to be something along the lines of what you are going to want to go for. For the top stat, you are going to want max HP and recovery out of combat. So why do we need out of combat? MP recovery out of combat is going to make it so that when you are far away from the Colossus, it is going to make you regenerate MP. Now, furthering that up and scaling it even harder, max MP and MP recovery in combat. So in combat is going to make it, again, working hand in hand with out of combat, so that you get MP no matter where you are in the map, whether you're fighting or whether you are shooting. This is going to help you with your MP. And again, max MP, because obviously, you know, we need as much MP as we can possibly get with this Lepic. Now, for the memory, I do have MP recovery modifier. That is the only important stat on here. Electric resistance is optional, but having the MP recovery modifier is the most important. Like I said, we are scaling and boosting the MP as much as we can with these components, and making sure that all of these are the Slayer sets of components, so that we get extra skill power with a boost of 26%, which also on the downside is going to make our skill cost a little bit higher, but that is not a problem with all of this MP scaling. For the final part being the processor, you're going to need shield and shield recovery modifier. Obviously, you know, if you can get all these in gold, that would be the best. If not, still works perfectly fine with a gold and a purple. Okay, so let's go on over the gameplay loop that you're going to want to rock with this Lepic. Now, this is just a short clip from my stream. All the gameplay will be provided from the streams that I've been running, but as simple as it gets. So you're going to use your second ability to activate the overcharge. So this is going to give you a bit more of a damage boost, specifically with fire. Now, in this strat, we are fighting the Molten Fortress. Once my teammate has jumped up on the Molten Fortress, what I'm going to do is switch over to my weapon, use the 4th ability, and then roll. This is for animation cancelling on the long animation that it will take to basically pull Lepic's Fireball ability out, and then I am just going to press and hold the button down. As you can see, we are doing disgusting levels of damage to the Molten Fortress. Is it just me shooting? No, but I promise you, I am doing the majority of the damage with this Lepic config. Now, again with Molten Fortress, we're just going to take care of his regular phase, and then we will finish him off once his immunity is done and dusted. So now let's go on over a more specific use case scenario for the Lepic. So, this is a Frostwalker fight. Frostwalker has a crippling weakness to fire, so this is going to make it significantly easier for us. Again, I'm just going to quickly drop my man a message, just letting him to join the stream. You know, we're trying to keep as many people happy as we can, so you know, we've got to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I apologize, but this is how it goes with the Frostwalker. Again, rocking the second ability, using the pistol, a 4th ability, and even from this distance over here, once the fireballs kick in, you can see the Frostwalker is going to take several hits, and his health bar is just going to get deleted. the best way to dish as much damage out as you possibly can is aiming at the weak points with these Lepic fireballs. When you do aim at the weak points for the Lepic fireballs, you can hit up to 2.5, 2.7 or even 5 million crits with fire, and that is the best way to play this Lepic. In this gameplay, you know, we're just going ham and deleting the hangman for some people, giving them a little bit of help. But, you know, the whole principle of this Lepic is just destroying bosses all the way up to Molten Fortress. It's as simple as it gets for that. Now for Gluttony, we will have a video coming out shortly, soon in a few days hopefully, so please stay tuned for that. But for the most part, Lepic is your go-to nuke until Molten Fortress. Another key thing for people to remember is that the more people are running in the boss fight, the more the boss's health will scale. So, you know, just remember that if you're going to try offering carries for squads, it can get a little bit more difficult. Trios, less difficult. Duos, piece of cake. But, you know, just learn your Lepic, mess around with him, have your fun, and more importantly, make sure to get a good reactor. But yeah, that's basically this video, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. I'm going to have lots of guides coming out for the first Descendant, so please stay tuned to my channel. Again, that's been this video. Hope you've enjoyed. Smash that like button. My Discord server is in the description for anyone that needs any additional help. Or, you know, you can leave a comment. Either works. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!